Hello. Yeah, good morning, everyone. Good morning. I have discussed in a demo class regarding to Pentaho complete functionality and all those things. Um, let me revise functionality kind of complete functionality of Pentaho once, then we can go for um, how to install Pentaho and configurations and prerequisites for Pentaho installations and all those things. We can go for that. Yeah, after installation of Pentaho, then we can go with our training stuff and all. So in this training, what we are going to provide actually for we can download Pentaho BA suite completely enterprise edition from our Pentaho site. Let me go for Pentaho site, and we have Pentaho site from where we can download our Pentaho BA suite. So you can get 30 days trial version for free. From the site you can download Pentaho. Okay, so if you look at this, you can say Pentaho Business Analytics Complete BA Suite and or Pentaho Data Integration. If you are only going for completely data warehouse and ETL stuff, you can download only Pentaho Data Integration. From this you can get only data integration tool and data integration server. If you install Pentaho Business Analytics, it can contain complete BA Suite. Earlier, it can have interactive reports, dashboard analytics stuff in the BA server, and we can have client tools, 4 client tools for completely BA functionality, and 1 data integration tool for ETL functionality. So if you download Pentaho Business Analytics, it can give you complete BA suite, like along with Pentaho Data Integration Service, it can give you complete BA analytics suite. Pentaho Business Analytics Suite. We can say data integration server also will come with analytical suite, and data integration tool also come with analytical suite. If you install this BA Analytics tool, you don't need to install Pentaho Data Integration. So you can get complete BA suite in this. So if you install Pentaho BA Analytics, what you will get, you will get 2 servers. One is BI server and another one is data integration server, and you will get 5 client tools: aggregate designer, schema workbench, report designer, metadata editor, and data integration. You will get 5 client tools if you install this. You can just download from here. If your machine is having 64-bit, you can download 64-bit kind of thing. So if you say prerequisites for Pentaho, before going to prerequisites and installation for Pentaho, let us quick view about our Pentaho functionality, which we have discussed already in our demo class. Okay, if I go to Pentaho functionality, let me log into Pentaho user console. Localhost, it is 8080. I have already started my server. I have already installed my server in C drive. Okay. Pentaho user console. I have already logged in this. That's why it's not giving login page. First, you can log in from here. You can provide default username and password. Default username is admin. Password is password. So you can see default users. By using default user and password, you can log into the Pentaho user console. From this, you can create interactive reports, as we have discussed earlier, analytical reports, interactive reports, dashboards, and data source from multiple data sources. You can say data source in the sense might be CSV file, data source might be databases like Oracle, MySQL, PostgreSQL, like that. You can create data source from the database tables, and from the Excel sheets also you can provide data sources like that. So if you say analyzer reports, you can create analyzer reports by using analyzer report functionality from the user console. Okay, you can say interactive reports, which we have already discussed in our demo classes, and in detail, in depth, we can discuss in our training classes in depth, and since each and every configurations, how to do that, how to do dashboard functionality, how to create data source and everything in our daily classes. So these are the functionality which are from BI server. This is called Pentaho user console, which can interact with our BI server. Okay, let me go to directory structure of my Pentaho. After installation of my Pentaho, I'll get the directory structure like this. If you look at this, server, BI server, and data integration, I have installed Pentaho complete BI suite. That's why I have got BI server as well as data integration server. And design tools, if I go to design tools, I can have aggregate designer, data integration, and metadata editor, report designer, and schema workbench we are having. So this data integration server is for this data integration tool is for ETL purpose, to create our ETL routines, to extract the data from multiple locations and transform the data and loading into a single location or multiple locations or in multiple formats, like that. We can do by using all the ETL stuff by using data integration server. Okay, so let us go through with our Pentaho installation. So as I told you, Pentaho we can download from this Pentaho site. So it can you can get 30 days trial version. Okay, from this 30 days trial version, it is not, if you say 30 days trial version, if I got, is it giving the complete functionality or not? You don't need to think that one, because it can provide you complete 100% functionality for 30 days trial version. Then after, there is a license we need to buy for that. Okay, 30 days trial version, it can help you to work on this Pentaho complete functionality. Okay, so what are all the prerequisites? If you say prerequisites, we need to a Pentaho application being developed in Java Spring Hibernate Spring framework. So we need to use Java environment. So Java environment is required. So please make sure you have installed before installing Pentaho BI suite. Make sure that Java 7.0 been installed or not, Java 7 in your machine. If it is not, please install go to Oracle site and download the Java and install Java 7. Then check whether what's the hardware configuration of your machine. The hardware configuration is required like minimum 8 GB. Try to maintain minimum 8 GB. So if you install Pentaho BI server, what is the hardware configurations in your machine? Check that. If you don't have minimum 8 GB, if you are having 4 GB RAM or like that, you need to make some changes. Your server is a little bit changes in your memory allocation files of Pentaho for the Pentaho BI server as well as DI server. Okay, so for each and every tool, around we are having 5 client tools. Minimum 2 GB it is required for each and every tool. So while you are starting any tool, just make sure that you are having free space of 2 GB RAM for that, so that you can get better performance for your development and all at the time of development. So as server is having a good amount of RAM size, you don't need to think about it. So if for your practice, please make sure your machine is having 8 GB RAM kind of thing. So you need to dedicatedly you need to give minimum 4 GB for our Pentaho BI server. and data integration server also we need to provide 4 GB RAM kind of thing. So while you are working on BI server, it is better to stop DI server. While you are working on DI server, it is better to stop DI server so that your machine performance can be good to go with that. So the installation is like it is like executable file directly. If you are using Windows machine, you can directly download Windows downloader. Okay, Windows 32-bit downloader you can download, and if you are using Linux machine, you can download this. This is like a normal software installation kind of thing. There are two kind of installations in Pentaho. So one is like a directly executable file which you can install directly, like just like a next install kind of thing. And at middle it can ask you the passwords for PostgreSQL and passwords for your BI server kind of, your default user kind of thing. So you need to provide, you need to remember and those passwords as well for your PostgreSQL as your login user console. So those things it can ask you. So try to install Pentaho in your machine. Before that installation, install Java in your machine. Okay, so to download this, if you click on this, it can ask you the first name, last name, all those things stuff it will ask you. If you provide this, it can be downloaded. Okay, so if it is Linux machine, it can be a binary file. Okay, you can, it is also, if you run the binary file, it is also can give you like next kind of configuration setup only. So you can install very easily. Okay, I'll provide you the installation document so that you can install Pentaho. So BA server and DA server, Pentaho complete BA suite in your machine. If it is a Linux machine, you can go for Linux instructions like that. If it is CentOS, you can use Mac OS related. Okay. If you have Pentaho data integration, it can provide you only data integration server and data integration tool, KTL tool only. That is ETL tool for this functionality. Either of that you can download. Okay. So I have already installed my Pentaho in my machine. So if you install Pentaho, so as per our training, we need one sample database also to create to work on our dashboards and reports on a sample database, so that if you have one sample database, you can work on that. So install MySQL server in your machine. I can provide a sample database dump for you, so that the tables which are there in that sample database we can use for our report development, dashboard, analytics development, and all for all this stuff. Try to install MySQL server, and my team can provide you sample database. Okay, so input the sample database into your database. One MySQL workbench or something like that to connect to MySQL database, or Toad or something like that. You can use any one of client tool. MySQL workbench or Toad. These are the client tools to connect database. Okay, as we are using MySQL database, we need to have Jdbc driver. Okay, so get the MySQL Jdbc driver, MySQL Jdbc driver from net directly from internet. or my sales team can provide you. So Jdbc driver is a completely open source drivers. You can find in Google itself. You can get MySQL Jdbc driver jar download. Okay. Okay, because if you want to connect to MySQL server, you can use corresponding driver so that it can connect to that particular database. If you are using Oracle database as a source for your database source for your BI server, what you can use? You can use Oracle driver, Oracle Jdbc driver. If you want to use PostgreSQL, you can use PostgreSQL driver. It is up to your business requirement. The data, as I discussed, the data might be in multiple formats, in a multiple locations, in a multiple databases. So to which database you are going to connect, you need to get the corresponding driver, and I'll tell you how to configure drivers and where to configure drivers. So after configuration of the drivers, you can start the BI server and AS server. Okay, look, you can download this. Okay, the driver, MySQL connected Java. This is the driver. You can download it, and you can extract the driver, and that jar file you can have. Let me go to my tool level. After installation of your Pentaho, I'm suggesting like install your Pentaho in C drive or D drive in base directory directly. Okay, don't install in program files. If you install in program files, it always asks you for installation and for making changes for your files. It will always ask you admin credentials. If it is your own machine, you can install anywhere, or try to install in C directly. So if you install in C directly, it won't ask you admin credentials for installation and all. Okay, just go with that. So after installation of Pentaho in your BI server, I have installed Pentaho complete BI suite. So you will get the directory structure like this. Okay, if you install 30 days trial version, it can be valid for 30 days. Okay, so after 30 days, what I need to do as a business developer, either you need to buy licenses. If you want to more practice, there is a workaround also to extend your license kind of thing. Okay, we'll discuss later for that. Let us go with our directory structure. If I go for server, BI server and data integration server we are having in this. So if I go for data integration server, it is for ETL server, we can say, for the data integration. So the drivers which you have downloaded, okay, let me go for my softwares. I have already installed my driver. This is the driver which I have already installed. I'm just keeping this driver in my okay, I'm using okay, whatever the driver which I am having, let me copy this, right click, copy this driver, go to your tool. Okay, you can configure your MySQL driver first in my BI server. Let me configure in my BI server. Let me go to Tomcat. Under this I have libraries. Let me go to libraries. Let me paste here. I have already PostgreSQL driver. As Pentaho is required one repository for for the server, we are having PostgreSQL for that. So Pentaho by default it can install PostgreSQL into it. So this driver is available. I am using MySQL server. That's why I am giving MySQL connector driver. So I have installed MySQL. Just configure that. Okay, so after that go to Tomcat. One location is Tomcat and libraries. Let me copy this directory location so that you can use in your machine. This is the first location. Let me copy the same, Control C, copy the same driver, go to Tomcat, go to web apps. This web apps is called web container, okay, for the Tomcat server. Let me go to Pentaho. You can find WebINF. Under that you can find libraries. This is where you need to paste your MySQL connector. So I have pasted MySQL connector here. So let me copy this. For the BA server, two locations we need to configure our jar file. Okay, I have configured in this location as well as in this location. This is for BA server, we can say. Let me copy this file. Okay, let me go for Pentaho BA server. Let me go to Pentaho home directory. Okay, if I have already configured BA server for this Jdbc driver, and let me go for data integration server. If I go to data integration server, I have the same structure. You can say BA server and DA server is also having the same structure. Let me have libraries. Okay, let me paste here. I have already configured MySQL driver in my data integration server. Let me replace it. Okay, this is how I need to configure. Let me copy this path. For the DI server called Pentaho Data Integration Server, okay, so this is where you need to configure our jar file. So let me paste here. I have already pasted here. This is the driver which you have already configured in my Pentaho Data Integration Server. Let me copy this same driver and let me go to Tomcat. Under this I can find web apps. It's a web container for DI server. Pentaho DI, Pentaho Data Integration. Go to WebINF. From there you can go to libraries. This is where you can paste here. Actually I have already added my MySQL connector Jdbc driver. Let me add it again. If you are using Oracle database, then you need to as a data source you need to use the same thing. You need to do the same thing for any other drivers. Just you need to download the driver and you need to paste it in you need to copy in this following directories. For this data integration server, for this base server, driver configuration is completed for my MySQL driver. Okay, so in the same way we need to configure for my tools. Let me go for report designer tool. If I go for report designer tool, let me copy the same driver, copy, and let me go for Pentaho home directory where I have installed my Pentaho, and design tools, report designer. Under that you can find libraries. Under that you can find Jdbc. You can paste here, Control V. So for my report designer, PostgreSQL is already there. Okay, HSQL DB is also there, hypersonic database. So as we are using MySQL database for my reporting, I am using MySQL Jdbc driver. Let me copy this path. This is how you can configure Jdbc driver here. Then let me schema workbench. schema workbench. There is another client tool. These two are the servers. Then I'm talking about the client tools. Schema workbench. For this schema workbench, for the Mondrian schema preparation, we are using schema workbench. Let me go to design tools, home directory. Okay, let me open the schema workbench. There is a directory called drivers. Just paste here like that. Libraries, it is not required. You can directly paste in the drivers. If I go for metadata editor, okay, metadata editor. If I go for metadata editor, I can copy the same. Let me go to design tools and metadata editor. You can find Jdbc, not this one, sorry. You can go for libraries. It's a metadata editor, libraries, not this. Samples. Libraries, yes, Jdbc. This is where you need to configure. This is the directory you can use here for the metadata editor. Okay, so this is how you can configure your drivers. If you are using Oracle driver, you need to configure in all the locations the same driver. You need to configure which tool you want to use. For that, at the time when you are using the tool, try to configure the same driver for that tool itself. Let me copy this same driver and I'll go to design tools. The other one is aggregate designer. Okay, use drivers, paste here, copy this location, and it is for aggregate designer. It is for only to create aggregate tables and all this aggregate designer tool. Okay, these are the client tools. There is another client tool, most important tool for our ETL purpose. This is data integration tool. You can go for library. This is where you can paste that tool. I have already pasted here. Okay, let me copy this path. Data integration. Okay, this is how you need to configure your Jdbc drivers. Okay, first check the Java version. Okay, how to check the Java version? Go to here, command prompt. Okay, Java hyphen version. Okay, check like this. It can give you which Java version we are using. Just check that whether it is 1.7 or not. If it is 1.7, it is very flexible for your Pentaho. Okay, use this Java version and make sure that your machine is having minimum 8 GB RAM configuration. Okay, what you need to do to check that? Go right click on computer, get the properties. If you look at this, 8 GB RAM and 64-bit operating system. Okay, this is how you need to check from your end for your hardware configurations, how it is been already there and all. Then after installation of your Pentaho, if you install from your end, after installation of Java, then after you are installing your Pentaho BS suite, Pentaho BS Suite 6.0 you are going to install. Okay, after installation, okay, 1 minute. After installation of this, stop the services first, because your system goes slow, because your system is for your practice. It's not like a real server and all. So what you need to do is go to services, go to that Pentaho BS server. My service been started as I'm using right now. This is a BS server service, and this is BS server service. Actually, if you install, it can show you automatic. So what you need to do is edit this properties, and instead of automatic, make it manual, so that whenever you need, then only you can start it. Otherwise, it can every time restart of your machine, every restart of your machine, you can start automatically. Don't use automatic, you use manually. Solution repository is used for BS server and DA server also for the corresponding databases, application related databases. Solution repository. To start BS server, solution repository is required. Okay. If you don't have, if you don't start solution repository, if you start Pentaho BS server itself, it cannot run properly. Means you cannot log in. So solution repository is required. I have started these two services, but I make it like manual. After completion of my work, I can stop this server services, so that my machine can be faster. Otherwise, your machine will take heavy process like that. There is BA server, you need to make like this. What I told, automatic to manual. Then you can stop the service if you don't want. Let me go for data integration. Just data integration server. I have already stopped and make it manual. What you need to do? Properties and make it manual and stop the server. If I need data integration server, I can stop it. I can start it. So that is why I'm saying, while you are after installation of your Pentaho, just stop the services so that your machine don't get hanged up or something like that. Because by default Pentaho utilizes around minimum 2 GB, minimum 4 GB, maximum 6 GB by default. Okay, so if all the services are not running at the same time, so it got slow, very slow. It will become very slow. Okay, so this is how you need to install Pentaho BS Suite in your machine. After installation of BS Suite, you need to configure driver. Download the Jdbc driver. Download Jdbc driver. Which Jdbc driver I need to download? That's your next question. The Jdbc driver which needs to compatible with your MySQL server. Okay, if you download MySQL server 5.5 or 5.2 like that, okay, for that MySQL server you can use 5.1.3 Jdbc driver or something like that. So all the 5.x drivers can be supported for MySQL services. You can use corresponding driver. Download the corresponding driver and copy in the directories which I have mentioned. Okay, then after stop all the services, then we can go with one by one functionality. Whatever we require, we can start working on that particular functionality. Okay. So driver configuration is completed, and Pentaho BS Suite installation. It is like Pentaho BS Suite installation. It's not like a separate installation kind of thing. You don't need a separate documentation kind of thing. Directly download it and check the only Java version. If Java is installed properly, just next kind of thing, install, and somewhere only one place it can ask you the password for your PostgreSQL. Okay, for that you can use some default password kind of thing which you cannot forget. Otherwise, whenever we need to look at our log or some database related stuff, something is missing or something like that, if you don't have database credentials, it is very difficult to track the issues in your server. Now, let us walk through our design tools. I have already installed Pentaho data integration server. First, configure everything in your machine. Okay, be ready for tomorrow class with all the configurations. Try to install all the Pentaho in your machine. Or first download the Pentaho and try to install in your machine. Okay. So if you don't have enough memory space and all, what you need to do is, after installation of that Pentaho, if you go to server, BA server, start pentaho.batch and stop pentaho.batch files will be there. If you are using Windows machine, if it is Linux machine, you can use sh file. Okay, if you are using Windows machine, just edit this. Okay, just go to allocate memory, heap memory size we are allocating. Right now I am allocating 2 GB minimum, 6 GB maximum. Okay, if I use 2 GB minimum, so by default it is 4 GB and 6 GB maximum. So I'm using minimum 2 GB. If you are not having enough memory space, you can make changes for this configuration. Like if you are having 1 GB is 1024 MB. Okay, if you are using 2 GB, it can become 2 GB. It can become 1024 multiplies by 2 means 2 GB is 248 MB. If you go to here, this is minimum. I have used 248, just you need to change this part. Okay, if I want to use 1 GB only, then 24. Okay, if I want to use here 2 GB max or 3 GB, if I want to use max 3 GB, what I need to do, 3 GB is equal to how much it is, 1024 multiplies by 3. Just go with that, just check it. Based upon that, go to calculator. 1024 multiplies 3, get it the value 3072. Use that value here. Three 3072. Okay, so this is how you can change the server heap memory allocation changes. So it can improve. If you have server as a very good server like 16 GB, 32 GB like that, after installation of your Pentaho, you are not changing your RAM size. Your allocation memory, it cannot extend itself. You need to make the changes in this particular file, start Pentaho batch file or start Pentaho sh file. For this, if you want to allocate minimum 10 GB, you can give like this 10 GB, and if you want to give maximum 16 GB, 16 into 1024, how much it is, that amount, that value you can give here. And max RAM size also you can give 256 to 256 as well as 512. Okay, you can give so that it can improve your server's performance. If you improve your if you increase your RAM size, okay, that is depends upon your hardware. Okay, if your machine is having hardware configurations 16 GB RAM, suppose that is a servo. If you are working on a servo, you can suppose you got a chance to work on servo, and you need to propose the servo changes, I mean the RAM changes and all. You got 16 GB RAM, then what you need to do, you can allocate based upon the RAM size and all hardware configurations. You can allocate the heap memory allocations in this file. Okay, right now I am going with my default. I'm not changing anything. Okay. Yeah, I think it's got disconnected, some network issue. Can you hear me right now? Yeah, nice. Yeah, as I'm telling, the thing is how to change the memory configurations and all. I have shown you for the DI server as well as BI server. Those the memory configurations, heap memory allocation for BI server in a start Pentaho batch file or start pentaho.sh file. The batch file is for Windows machine, sh file is for Linux machines, kind of thing. Okay, just edit this, make the changes in heap memory allocation. Okay, as I told you, if it is 2 GB, 2 multiplies 1024. 1 GB is 1024 MB. So 2 into 1024 is equal to 2048. The same way you can give for 6 GB like that. So that is up to you, based upon your RAM configurations and all. You can give this. So as per the Pentaho suggestions, we need to use minimum 4 GB dedicated for Pentaho BI server, as well as 4 GB for Pentaho DI server. Okay. So try to install Pentaho in your machine. So as well as Pentaho, you can install. First check the Java version and Java. For the Java version, to check the Java version, what you need to do is command Java -version. Okay, then install Java into your machine. Then after Pentaho 6.0 install in your machine, download the Pentaho 6.0 and install it. Okay, then driver configuration, download the driver which is related to your MySQL server. So my team can provide you the database dump. So import that dump. I'll attach the commands for importing dump. Okay. So let us go with database dump. How to take the database dump and all. So I have already installed MySQL server in my machine. MySQL minus root minus root. Okay. Show databases. It can show you all the databases which I am having. So let me exit this. What you need to do is MySQL minus root. My username is root. Okay. Minus p. This is for password. You need to provide suppose database I want to take dump. database name. Okay, then I want to import into training dot, I want to import from database training.sql like that. So if you run this command, it will ask you the password. Anyways, this specified file is not there. Let me take a database dump, then after I can import it. To take the database dump, dump mysql dump minus uroot minus p is a password. Training dashboard training database I want to import into training.sql. Let me import it. It will ask you the password. My password, default password is root I am using for my SQL service. Okay, ls dir. So training database SQL is there. It's been downloaded. This is the training database. So now you can import. Okay, just use to which database you want to import. Just import like this. Okay, use like this. Password is root. Okay, so first install all these things, then I'll let you know how to import and export databases and all in tomorrow classes. Then we can start. If environment is ready, we can start with our complete training from end to end. Any other queries? Any questions from your side? Questions and queries? And MySQL Server and any client tools, MySQL Workbench or Toad client tool to connect to MySQL Server and download my Jdbc driver and install and configure Jdbc driver, all these things. My team can share you this directory structure and all. Okay. Okay, then we can wrap up today's class and try to configure Pentaho in your machine first. All those things. Okay, then. Have a good day. Bye bye.